Hubert made up the words.
He's walking on the water,
spreading his light.
He raises up a dead man, makes him feel all right. I can see him coming,
spreading his light, spreading his light all around.
When your ship is sinking, he's the bung in your punt. When you can't find your keyhole, hooray for Holman Hunt. He even works at weekends, he's never out to lunch.
He is spreading his light all around.
In a nightie made of poplin,
spreading his light.
The shepherd plays Scott Joplin all through the night, squeezing on his organ,
spreading his light,
and clinging to his old rugged cross. Get that good man's haircut,
spreading his light.
All you can say is there but for the grace of God go I can see him waiting
for you to say
goodbye,
spreading his light all around.
Mr. Slodden confessed himself taken a trifle short, and wincing-faced with the shortness of it, he asked if he might visit the lavatory.
The lavatory? God's teeth, man, call it the bog and be done.
With a tremendous sneezing, Sir Henry yawped and roared into the dining room.
Whoa! Blast! Zebras, master!
Called Scrotum. Henry put his arm about Mr. Slodden and leered kindly.
I like to vacate the premises myself before a blowout. I'll go with you.
Henry snatched up a candle from his huge potato and held it aloft.
It's a bit tricky in the dark, but where there's a willy, there's a way. I say, you don't want to toss the caber, do you? Huh? I should think not. Well, follow on to the lavatories.
Soon throaty flushings reverberated through the house, and shouts. There are communal toilets, or lavatories, at Rawlinson End. 6 privies with no privacy at all, no curtains, no shyness. All in a draughty stone-flag cellar. It was, Sir Henry said,
a great leveller,
but no more of that. When Henry returned, his arm still about the trembling Mr. Slodden, he had in tow poor blind Ben, who was very excited, and was followed by the mournful hound Bonzo, who was adorned with a toilet roll around his neck like a mountain rescue dog.
Generally speaking,
said Henry, sitting down heavily,
when I've eaten something, I don't want to see it again.
He wiped his hands down the sides of his coat.
How about yourself, Slodden? Fussy, are you?
Slodden winced.
You look fussy,
burfed Henry. Henry looked at his nails.
Will our rivers never be clean?
Slodden, with the drained face and palsied hands of a self-abuser, gulped at his port.
Refinement's a thing of the past, really. Scrotum, pass the,
Scrotum pushed a dimple mug brimming with whiskey to his master.
Thank God for the English Channel. Build more ships and more ships. Fortify Dover and...
Fortify wine, croaked blind Ben, who was displaying a thirst quite as vacuum-sucking as Sir Henry's. Blowed if I know, but I'm very excited.
Zebras,
said Scrotum knowingly. Henry sneezed. Ah, bless you, remarked Mr. Slodden.
Don't bless me, you damned druid. I know where I'm going when I've shrugged off my mortal coil, and it won't be up there. Properly embalmed, every man may be his own statue and monument.
Oh, Henry, said Florrie sharply, sometimes I think there's something wrong with you.
I'll tell you what's wrong with most people. They are not like me. That's the problem.
But Scrotum was innocent of metaphysical insight, and he thrust his quarried old face close to his master's.
Do you remember, listen, master, when you was a lad, I used to put a drop of dark rum in your milk and sing you to sleep.
And the old man took off his old fez and raised his red old eyes.
I would pick the locks of heaven for you, master, if they tried to close them pearly gates on thee. For my time in purgatory would go faster, knowing you was in the club where drinks is free. Oh, I'd serve, unswerving in your service I would serve, knowing you was on first names with Nazarene. You'd say, JC, now what's yours? He'd say, Sir Henry, let me pour, and he'd keep you topped up for eternity.
You weepy, ingratiating old fraud, take that! Such loyalty is rare in these degenerate times.
Hubert stuffed his pockets with cheese from the sideboard and left the room. In his own quarters, he was the curator of a grand mauseum. With the master now seated, the first course was, of course, soup, served in china beakers. It was called spring consomme, a cold, greenish soup with live tadpoles swimming in it, and everybody had to wear blindfolds. It was fun to let them wriggle on your tongue before swallowing them.
I've got a lively fellow in me.
It was fun, too, that old Scrotum traditionally popped a great diving beetle or some such into at least one of the beakers to lively things up a bite. Then came the main course, and I must say that with a garnish of wild flowers strewn on the steaming top of it, the meadow potpourri looked rather delish. It was fun, too, to guess what you were eating.
Whoa, big God. Parts of these ferrets are crunchy. What's up with you, old man? Not eating? Not a ruddy vegetarian, are you?
Mr. Slodden looked positively saintly, like a condemned man taking his last naked bath under the beady scrutiny of warders, saying farewell to his precious body, scrubbing the sins of the world from his innocent, obedient flesh.
I am thinking of becoming a vegan,
he murmured.
Well, you've certainly got a vegan expression on your face. Pass the hot African sauce. You'll have some salad, then,
said Henry, lolling as gracious as Nero. Reverend Mr. Slodden eyed a perfectly innocuous bowl of greens and nodded eagerly.
Hope you like garlic,
breathed Henry, with a breath that would make pine stripping a thing of the past.
And a little dressing, of course.
He snapped his fingers at Scrotum, who pulled the cork out of a nauseous-looking bottle of dark rum.
Pour it on, Macduff. Oh, no need to toss a rollin' salad,
chortled Henry. And he was right, for in seconds the salad began to heave violently, and to Reverend Slodden's horror, dozens of large caterpillars made their maddened escape from the lettuce, throwing themselves onto the table and whooping off in all directions. Some of them were screaming, "Help me! Help me!" Reverend Slodden fainted and slumped into his curry.
Damned alcoholics. They can't hold their drink, you know. They just drink it.
Henry unpocketed a large tin of Wrigley's patent foot powder from his waistcoat and snuffed a great pinch of it.
Just hope he doesn't burst into flame. All of them do that, you know, alcoholics. Spontaneous combinations, they call it, master,
grinned old Scrotum. Poor Mr. Slodden, but we'd put him out, wouldn't we? Said Florrie.
We would too, mum,
said Scrotum happily, fingering his expectant trousers. Next time, much more eating at Rawlinson End, more of resurrection duty and the bursting of the coffins. plus the late heavy arrival of Doris Hazard and her heavy husband, Boris, wearing a scenic shirt. Also, blind Ben Quakebuttock mistakes two blancmanges for a woman, with horrible results.